My name is Maria, and today's video topic is bound to ruffle some feathers, so get a seatbelt because it's going to be a rough ride. Today we are talking about feminism, and more specifically why third wave feminism, the feminism we know today, pretty much equates to the highest form of misogyny. Now, those two things might seem like a massive contradiction at first, but bear with me because I will walk you through. Now, before we start off, clearly, everything I'm going to say in this video is my own personal opinion, my own personal observations, based on the research I have conducted. You are free to believe whatever you want. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, but I'm going to share my point of view with you today. Before we start off, let's agree on one thing. Clearly, it's a good thing that first wave and second wave feminism happened. They were an important part of our history. They were extremely necessary. Of course, it's great that women vote, that women can work, that women can open credit cards, that women can drive cars, that women are not restricted, that women can get divorced when they want to. Clearly, all of those freedoms are necessary and completely undisputable. No one says that women need to go back to the kitchen and never exit ever again. No one, literally no one is saying that. All forms of criticism towards third wave feminism are based on completely different issues. So if you even try to go back to those topics, please don't. Save yourself the time and the energy. Now, what is the issue? Feminism very much loves to hide the fine print that makes all the difference. What am I talking about? Let's look at the regular pattern third wave feminism goes by. In your 20s and 30s, you're told, hey girl, be a girl boss career woman, get that career going, get all of your grades, get all of your degrees, get that amazing job. Who needs men? Who needs children? Who needs families, right? Right. However, when the clock strikes and most women hit around pretty much 30, they realize, oh God, I don't have a man, I don't have anyone to date, I don't have anyone to even vet if that person is suitable to be a husband. I need to find a husband, I need to get married, I need to conceive children, all in record time. And especially if you want more than one child, it is extremely difficult at that stage. By the time you hit 40, it becomes extremely difficult to become pregnant because almost all of your fertility is gone. Your fertility peaks at 25, and from that point onwards it just keeps declining. So the longer you wait, the more difficult it will be to conceive a child naturally. Most likely you will have to use all types of procedures like IVF treatments, and also you are endangering your child to have specific diseases. Problem is the following: feminism is really encouraging up until that point. You are useful to the third wave feminist movement as long as you are in your prime years, so to say. As long as you are working, as long as you're being that career boss woman, as long as you're telling the world you're better than men, that men are trash, that you don't need them, you don't need children, you don't need family, everything cool, fun and games. As soon as you realize, oh God, what have I done? Oh God, the clock is ticking. I need to arrange everything with the speed of light. That's when the feminist movement discards you. I mean, we constantly hear stories of, yay, career boss woman girl, doesn't need a man, doesn't need a family, doesn't need no one. But where do we hear the stories of the women who feminism has failed, the women that have gone after the feminist pattern, the ones who did invest all of their time, energy, and resources into launching their careers and did not bother thinking for a second about family, finding a husband, making children, none of that. All of those stories go unnoticed. Why? Because they don't support the feminist narrative. Feminism milks you for your resources, for your youth, for your economical benefit, and for your societal benefit. They don't care once you're not useful anymore. They don't. They completely discard you, saying, none of my business, have a good life. Like, at best, they tell you to go get a cat and go get a bottle of champagne or wine or whatever. I mean, how is this fair? This is like working your entire life, expecting to retire, and then someone saying, whoop, you know what? there's no retirement savings because, oopsies, we've used them up. How would you feel? Probably seriously betrayed and seriously questioning things. Feminism has become such a scam that it's just tragic and sad. It was supposed to be a movement of empowering women, a movement of making women equal to men. But none of this is visible in present day Western societies. None of this is visible. I mean, being equal means empowering both boys and girls, empowering both men and women, saying that everyone is okay, that everyone is great and necessary to society. But what is happening? Women are constantly bashing boys and men, telling them that they're toxic, that they're trash, that they're a waste of space, and that they should cease to exist because they cannot possibly do anything good in this world and they can only do harm. How is this equal? This is female superiority. This is females telling any male that he's not welcome, that he's not necessary, and that he can go find a hobby or whatnot because no one needs them. How is this fair? How is this equal? How does this create a harmonious society? In what parallel universe does that happen? Further, since women want to be so equal, why don't they act like men, which they actually theoretically aspire to do? I mean, men are known to be accountable, to be responsible. They're expected to be on their best behavior. Why is the same standard not applied to women? Why do women get away with victim mentality, with blame shifting, with not accepting responsibility, with painting themselves as the victim of every situation, as the oppressed person? Why do we have such double standards for a society that is trying to be as equal as possible? I don't understand it. If you want to be held, if you want to be regarded as highly as a man, then why don't you act like one? Not in terms of being aggressive and telling people how amazing you are and how trashy they are. Why don't you try acting like a proper, decent person, like a reliable person, a self-aware person, a responsible and accountable person? It's not that hard. Why are women getting away with bad behavior? Because we're letting them. Because no one calls them out on their nonsense. They're going completely unchecked. They're running rampant like tiny toddlers, manipulating themselves into every position they want. Why is it that we see women constantly complaining and nagging that they want the high positions of power, that no one is giving it to them? Perhaps because they're not competent enough. Maybe they should just work harder and get the position instead of manipulating themselves into them. And even when they do get the high positions of power, why don't we hear anyone complaining that there are not enough women in blue-collar work? Why don't we see women craving, crying, and begging to become firefighters, to become coal miners, to become factory workers that carry heavy sacks? Why is it only the creme de la creme, the highest positions, the most prestigious elite positions women want? If we're going to be equal, then how about we stop cherry picking and we actually act equal? Meaning that we have the same advantages and the same disadvantages. You can't just cherry pick all the advantages and disregard all the responsibilities and all the disadvantages, because that is not fair, that is not equality, that is privilege. Women are using their privileged status of being oppressed, weak little girls to get into high positions they don't deserve simply based on their gender. I mean, I as a woman would feel offended to receive a job based on the fact that I'm a woman and not based on the fact that I'm the most competent one out of everyone who applied. I mean, that is truly insulting and that is not equality. I don't want to get a job based on my privilege. I want to get a job based on my competence, based on my ability for critical thinking, conflict resolution, crisis resolvement, and many other skill sets. This is not fair. This is not equality. This is pure privilege and manipulation. And worst of all, it's not even helping women. It's only making everything worse. Women are failing on every front. And it's evident that even the most successful feminists are not successful. Look at Candace Bushnell, the woman who wrote Sex and the City. She had the most girl boss career you can imagine. She had all the rewards you could get, all the money you could get, all the fame, all the international recognition you could only wish for. And what did she say? She regrets not having children. Emma Watson, an incredibly successful and outspoken feminist, describes herself as self-partnered, or more so using a euphemism for the fact that she's single and cannot establish a proper relationship with a man. Why is that, I wonder? Feminism has failed women, at least in the form that it currently is in. The first wave and the second wave were without a doubt beneficial and absolutely necessary. But third wave feminism, one of the highest forms of misogyny I have ever seen. Women don't give a shit about other women. They don't. They don't care. They use them to advance their own political agenda, and as soon as those women are not of use anymore, they discard them. Adios, amigos. All the women that are saying, hey, feminism failed me, hey, I can't conceive children anymore, I didn't manage to get a man, I didn't manage to establish a family because feminism told me that I shouldn't, and now I'm miserable and I'm depressed and I'm on God knows how many medications and have 5 cats. No one cares about these women. No one. Why? Because they never cared in the first place. Feminism uses women for societal, economic, and political gain. Nothing else and nothing more. And the more women stay ignorant to this fact, the more women are going to suffer, and the more women are going to have the same exact stories of, hey, I'm 40, I don't have a man, I don't have children, I'm depressed, what the hell do I do? Feminism has failed me. No one cares about these women. Why? Shouldn't they be the most amazing success stories according to third wave feminism? Shouldn't they be the ones saying, oh, I'm the happiest I have ever been because I only ever focus on my career and nothing else? People, it does not work. Female empowerment looks different. Female empowerment is when us women are held to the highest standard, when we're expected to be on our best behavior, when it's expected of us to be responsible, reliable, accountable people, just like men are used to living life. Why is this type of female empowerment, being a responsible, reliable person, called misogyny, but letting women get away with manipulating themselves into positions of power, whining and crying oppression, and saying they're victims, which they're absolutely not. We're not weak women. We're strong. Who the hell said that we're victims? Where are we oppressed? Where? Can anyone show me a proper example of women being oppressed in the West? There's none. There's none. You didn't get a job? Well, perhaps you weren't competent enough. Maybe it's not because you were a woman. Maybe you're simply not qualified enough for the job. Have you ever thought of that? Oh no, it's easier to cry victim and say, oh, it's because I'm a woman. They prioritize the men. Well, what feminism is doing now is even more insane. Now, in Sweden, certain positions in academia are opening, and if the most qualified person on the list is a male, that person does not get the job. What the hell is going on? How is reverse oppression, revenge for the past, acceptable and okay? Women, I'm serious, we need to do better. We can do better and we will do better, because women like me are not willing to be associated with feminism anymore. I'm all for women empowerment, I'm all for realizing your own goals, for doing whatever you want, but not this way. Feminism is a lie. Feminism was supposed to tell women, it doesn't matter what you want, you can go have it. Everything is fine. You want to be an astronaut? Go do it. You want to be a homemaker? Go do it. Amazing. Want to become a lawyer? Amazing. You do you, boo. Do everything you want. But what has it become now? Now, only the career-obsessed path is acceptable in the movement. If any woman declares that, oh, perhaps I'd like to take out some time to raise my children, or perhaps I want to be a homemaker and take care of the home, those options are suddenly not acceptable anymore. Suddenly, those options are seen as, oh, she's a traitor to the movement. We need to bash her. We need to tell her this is not acceptable. How is this okay? This is not what feminism was about. Why and where did this movement completely fly off the rails? This is insane. This is insanity. And it is evident why feminists are so bad at establishing functioning relationships with men. I mean, regardless of the feminist aspect, if you behave like an entitled, irresponsible, not accountable brat that constantly bashes men and has to affirm her own superiority over others, especially males and especially the man you're dating, well then it's no wonder that no one wants to be around you. You are insufferable, and it has nothing to do with the movement. You're simply not nice to be around. Learn to be a decent person. Learn normal values. Learn some responsibility. Adopt some responsibility. Be accountable. If you want to act like a man and you want to be seen as completely equal, then how about you don't copy the aggressiveness and the superiority, but how about you copy the proper values of holding yourself accountable, of being responsible, of being a decent person, of not manipulating yourself into what you want, and holding yourself to the same high standard you're trying to hold men to. I mean, this is only fair. Please subscribe and like this video, and if you want to support me even more, check out my Patreon page. I hope you found this helpful. I'm Maria, and I hope you have a fantastic day.